I want to get into a big issue, right? You're exposing fentanyl overdose deaths that are surging among our senior citizens. Is that correct?
That's correct. We have a 9,000% increase.
Since when?
Just over the last few years, and I have a pretty good idea what's going on.
What do you think's happening?
Well, I think a lot of the people who are charged with the duty of caring for our seniors are drug users, and they take the legitimate narcotics that have been prescribed by physicians for the elders, and they use those in lieu of the potentially fatal fentanyl, and then they dose the seniors with the fentanyl. So it's a form of addict risk management. I've had 3 cases of this occur in the last year, where someone is caring for an elder senior citizen who's under palliative or hospice care by a physician and being prescribed fentanyl patches. And so the caregiver uses the fentanyl patches himself, or in 2 cases, herself, and doses the senior with street drugs so that they're not complaining about their pain, but they're exposing them to a potentially fatal overdose.
So is this isolated to Los Angeles? Do you think this is a nationwide problem?
Well, you have to understand that addicts communicate with each other through social media like anybody else. One of the addicts that I identified in my last investigation showed me how she and her girlfriend were scraping their arms with sandpaper to abrade their arm and fishing used fentanyl patches out of the dumpster and applying them to the abraded area of their arm to get the quick rush of whatever residual narcotic is there. Narcotics addicts are hard for civilians to understand. Let me provide something for you here, David. The difference between an alcoholic and a junkie is an alcoholic will steal your money and go get drunk, David. A junkie will steal your money, go get loaded on street dope, and then come home to you and help you look for your stolen money.
That's terrible. Okay. The heroin epidemic, the fentanyl crisis nationwide has been a problem. So I spent a lot of time in New Hampshire, and I talk about this a lot on the show. I interviewed the director of overdose prevention during the 2024 election up in New Hampshire for Manchester, 108,000 people in the city. 8% of the population overdoses every year. And now it's not just the heroin, but it's synthetic cocktails involving fentanyl and others. Trump closing the border and the reduced flow of fentanyl, can't you equivocate that into thousands, many thousands of lives being saved, or are they just getting around it and there's more drugs available? Because I hear there's new stuff on the street.
Well, there's less street dope available. You need to understand that almost everything that's sold as heroin in this country now is either partly or fully fentanyl. There's a new version of fentanyl, or actually an old version of fentanyl, which is being sold, called carfentanil, which was designed to anesthetize horses, livestock, that sort of thing. And it's more powerful than standard fentanyl. And standard fentanyl is plenty powerful. Don't kid yourself, David. There's another bad drug situation afoot here that ties directly into the narcotics use, though, and it is harm reduction meds. There are a lot of healthcare providers and insurance companies that swear by harm reduction meds like Suboxone. And I have a very leery opinion of this.
Yeah.
It keeps the addict addicted longer, and the longer that they are still using, their life is endangered. I have a very good friend who lost his oldest son to a fentanyl overdose while he was being treated with Suboxone in a treatment facility.